Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Gwent, and today we're playing more of the Battle Rush seasonal event, which is an alternate game mode in which we have just 8 seconds to take our turn and 15 seconds to choose our hand in between rounds. That means we gotta play fast, and fortunately I have just the deck to do that. So let's go give it a look. So today we'll be playing a Scoia'Tael Guerrilla Tactics unit list deck that spams a bunch of traps and then transforms those traps into elves, which we can then boost. So in round 1, we'd ideally start with Saskia Commander, because she will summon in bronze units from our deck, helping to thin our deck and, of course, putting additional points on the board. Generally speaking, it is best to play her in the melee row, because we do have some bronze units that are row-locked to the melee row. Alternatively, if we're going first, then Saber-Tooth Tiger is a great early round play, dealing damage to whatever unit our opponent plays. Then we can use damaging special cards like Nature's Rebuke to take out whatever else our opponent has that survives our damage. And we also have tons of traps to play, like the Mahakam Horn for boosts, Serpent Trap for destruction, Pitfall Trap for damage, Crushing Trap for wide damage, and Incinerating Trap for, you guessed it, even more damage. That being said, we'd like to save most of our traps for the latter rounds, because with all those traps and Eibhear to play another trap, once those traps have triggered, we can use Eldain to transform them into Elven Deadeyes, giving us additional points, and additional setup for Vernossiel if we choose to play her in the melee row, or additional targets for us to boost with Isengrim. Also, assuming we have a lot of elves on the board, once we make all those transformations, then Aelirenn will likely get summoned from our deck as well. So there's a look at the deck. It's very simple. Basically, use Saskia to thin out all your bronze units and then play all your traps. Once you have the traps down, convert them into Deadeyes, and either deal damage or do boosts based on the number of Deadeyes that you have. So let's go see it in action. Alright, so going up against Nilfgaard here. And we'll go first. Okay, and I like leading off with the Saber-Tooth Tiger, but let's get rid of Aelirenn. Want to keep her in our deck, and we'd like to keep our bronze units in our deck if possible as well. So let's start with the Saber-Tooth Tiger. And I saw they have Sunset Wanderers as well. Ramon. That's actually a really good way to work around the Saber-Tooth Tiger. But the damage is probably not going to work all that much. Let's quickly use Curse Scroll, and let's get Saskia Commander, and let's get rid of one of our bronzes, and then let's play Saskia Commander in our melee row, and then flip you... Yes. Okay, it's another Alba Pikeman. They're trying to load up on more damage. Technically, it can still hit Saskia, and both of them do, actually. What if we go with something like, maybe even Dryad Matron? As I was saying, we ideally wouldn't be playing many, if any, of our bronze units, but just trying to get a little more boostages happening over here. Turning Joust, they can't target Saskia. They can get rid of that Dryad Matron, though. Okay, so now, why don't we go for something like... I want to go Hawker Smuggler. Maximize the amount of time that that has to do its thing. Okay, now of course we'd love to have the Elven Scout out when we're doing all of our traps. I kind of deliberately saved those, though. Ooh. Okay, Saskia's holding on. Now let's flip the Saber-Tooth Tiger again, and why don't we continue to play some of our units here. Like so. That may be the last unit that we play, in fact. And it's Blightmaker. Are they going to have time to do the thing that they're looking to do? They did get the right target. It did work out for them. Oh, they did get rid of Saskia. Okay. So now, in terms of which trap we'd like to use, I'm thinking we might go Crushing Trap. Since they have a lot of cards lined up in that melee row. Granted, a lot of them have armor, so maybe it's not the best option after all. They are also pretty close to getting out this Sunset Wanderers. It might be about to happen right now. It'd be kind of nice. Sort of like to bleed that out. So I'm thinking, what if we go... I guess Incinerating Trap. And flip you as well, although granted it's not going to do anything this turn anyway. Okay, so there's the damage from that. Saber-Tooth Tiger, I mean, if they want to do something to shut it down, they theoretically could, but yeah, that might be what they're going for here. Now they're going to lock the Cat Witcher. That'll take some damage. And it does trigger the Elven Scout. Okay, so it does get rid of Sunset Wanderers. I kind of just wanted them to get that out of their hand. Because I'm thinking... So how are we doing points-wise here? Yeah, I'm thinking we want to leave it as is. We'd like to save many of our traps so we can use Eldain in a future round. Okay, so more trap options here, at least with Eibhear. Catwitcher could be our throwaway. Vernossiel is potentially a point slam if needed, although we'd like to combine her with Eldain if possible. So we did lose on even in round 1, so they might push here. They are looking to do that. And that gives them some damage. But we can return the favor and do this as well. Technically, if I had realized that we ought to have done it, then I ought to put the Catwitcher in the melee row, but at least shut that down. Oh, it's Yawn, okay. So that helps them a little bit the next round. And now, I need to go Eibhear here. Might need to go Eibhear. And, ooh, we gonna have time to put this where we want to put this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Also, it's gonna be tricky with the Catwitcher moving around. Okay. Well, it does boost that Catwitcher, and it does actually mean that we don't need to play any more cards, so it did work out for us. It did work out for us. So we won, and now we're back on even cards in round 3. Okay, Nature's Rebuke is not really what we're looking for here. I think we dump that. Waylay does give us more elves to power up Vernossiel. Royal Decree could give us Eldain, so that's huge. Okay, so what do we want to start with here is probably, well, one of our traps. Let's go with Serpent Trap first, maybe. I think that might catch them a little bit off guard. Okay, Blightmaker. Yeah, I think they were trying to play around the Spring Trap. But it didn't really matter here. Okay, so why don't we... I guess Waylay. Not a huge deal here. We actually would kind of like if they grow stacked for... oh, not for Pitfall, but for Crushing Trap. So let's do that. It's Artorias. That Pikeman as well in the melee row. Oh, and that's gonna, yep, trigger Serpent Trap. Okay, so now let's go Pitfall Trap. Next turn, we might even do Eldain. It's a little bit early, but since it is gonna power up both Vernossiel and Isengrim, I think it might be worth doing. And that is not a great card to be playing right now. Okay, so now it's Eldain. Okay, Anna Henrietta is going to steal our leader ability. I don't think that's going to be a huge factor. Then I think we go damage. Might have been better to go for spawning in more, but it is still enough for us to get Aelirenn out here. So I think I might still stand by that. Didn't have time to do the math, but we'll see. Okay, the lock shouldn't matter much. And Isengrim is our finisher, because with him, we can boost all of our many elves, and there are many of them. So it's a 27-point lead. They still have all their lead ability charges, but they're going to need to act quickly here. It's Yenvo plus leader ability. I don't think it's going to be enough. So we'll take the win. Alright, so going up against Scoia'Tael here. And they'll go first. Okay, so definitely don't want Aelirenn in hand. Let's get rid of her. And Thinking we also want to minimize the number of bronze units that we have, so that we can set those up with the Saskia, potentially, although we don't have her at the moment. We could get her with Royal Decree, though. Ooh. Johnny. Let's start with Saber-Tooth Tiger. It's not great on red coin, because now they can proceed to play other cards in the same row as Johnny, but we can use our leader ability to move some cards around, and that is probably what we're going to go for here. Or we will take some cards out, like so. Now it's a Whisper. That's a little bit harder to get rid of if it multiplies, which it might, though we can Waylay if we would like. Okay, Bountiful Harvest. Into another Seer. Except, guess what? We can get rid of that too. Okay, another Bountiful Harvest. That's not a card we want to see, though, because that gets 2 units out here. Does make matters considerably more difficult for us. Let's go here and here to at least get some damage on the Cat Witcher. Okay, now it's Simlas. They're going big here. Orb of Insight will give them a lot of points, but it does also give them some potential carryover, which honestly I'm a little more concerned about than the other stuffs. Thinking we might want to give them a round 1 win here. I don't see a great option for us anymore. Okay, we drew into Saskia. That's great. We definitely want to get rid of Aelirenn, though. And Isengrim could be a strong finisher, especially if we end up transforming all of our traps into elves. Okay, they are still playing. They are still playing. They did play one more card than us. But they're still going for it. Let's play Saskia in that case. Although she is a big card, at the very least, she is going to give us thinning, and certainly enough points to, at least in the short term, keep pace. Sorceress. Ooh. I'm thinking we go other Elven Scout, and then let's move you around a little bit to prevent you from using that order unless you use some special cards to boost you up, which might be what they're going for here, but it'll take a while with Oniro. Alzer? Oh, that's ambitious. That is ambitious. I'm thinking, let's go for the Mahakam Horn here, because they may pass soon. Sorceress, I mean, that one we would like to damage. We would love, actually, in that situation, if we had played Incinerating Trap. In fact, we might even want to manually trigger this to damage you, because then that will prevent them from using this order ability. Could have done, yeah, our last leader ability charge, I suppose that would have made sense as well. Okay, there go the Orbs of Insight. We'll put boosts on these sorceresses. They won't have time to use those abilities yet. Will they have time to target this Orb of Insight? They will not. I think we go Eibhear into possibly Crushing Trap, because they do have a lot of units in each row. Let's move you, do a little more damage. They'll pass. That gives us a big boost. And Crushing Trap is about to trigger, I think. Also, we get this out. So we are fine. We're good here. We'll have card advantage, in fact, going into the next round. Okay, no Aelirenn, please. And we don't have that many traps left. We did draw into Eldain. We even have a target remaining. For Royal Decree, we do. It's probably going to be Vernossiel there. So I think we're fine with this. let us begin with Incinerating Trap, I think. Okay, Oniro. Into Francesca. She will get damaged by that trap. So now let's go Serpent Trap, I think, because presumably they're about to try to use some special cards to take advantage of Francesca's ability. And so Francesca is going bye-bye. Now let's go Crushing Trap. They're discarding a card. Wow. They don't like what they see here. Let's go Royal Decree into Vernossiel, and in this situation, I think we just want to spawn in more of those Deadeyes, and they'll get boosted when we play Isengrim. And nothing for the Crushing Trap hit. It will, of course, still get transformed by Eldain, though. Now they're going after Vernossiel, and they do now have a target for the Brocklon Sentinel. However, that's just their leader ability. They still need to play a card. They did not have time to do that. That's the downside of those slow leader abilities. There's Eldain transforming all those cards. That gets out Aelirenn. And we can boost all of those Elves with Isengrim on our last turns. They need something humongous here. Nature's Rebuke is not that. So we've already won. We'll throw down a quick Isengrim. And there you have it. We'll take the win. Alright, so going up against Nilfgaard here. And they'll go first. Okay, so let's get Aelirenn out of our hand. And Eldain is a good finisher. I like Saskia in round 1. That could be really helpful, in which case let's get rid of some of our bronze units. We have a lot of traps here. So I would ideally like to save Eldain for round 3, although that may not be a luxury we can afford to have. Alzer. Let's Nature's Rebuke you real quick, and just get rid of you altogether. None of that nonsense. Okay, Glynis will give them a ton of points with that Assimilate. Ooh, what if we go Serpent Trap, though, real quick, and just trigger this to get rid of her? Okay, then it's Cantarella. Now, I'm curious what they're going to get here. They're going to have to destroy their own Cantarella. Congratulations. Okay, it's a little later in the round than we would like to be doing this, because we focused on taking out some of their big cards, but we'll go Saskia. And it's Blightmaker. Will they have time to do the thinning that they're looking for? They will. They will. Okay, now I guess we'll go at Witcher next. It is a bronze unit, which means it's technically a little bit anti-synergistic with Saskia, but I think we'll have plenty of other types of bronze units to summon out with her, since especially we don't give her that much time. Especially if they get rid of that Cat Witcher, so yeah, she'll have plenty of options. What do we want now, though? We would just go Waylay, to tell you the truth. Okay, Brothans. Looks like they're going for a Dryad Matron here. Their rows are somewhat full, so Crushing Trap might not be a terrible idea. Maybe we go for that. No pass. Okay. I think we can still pass here, though, ourselves, because Crushing Trap will go off, and that gives us just enough damage to take the win. Okay, so we are on even cards here. We could push if we'd like, or we could force them to go a card down. I'm thinking we might go that route. Poker Smuggler is not a terrible throwaway, though. We might even keep this, to be honest with you. We might even keep this. Maybe get rid of the Cat Witcher. Saber-Tooth Tiger. Ooh. Ooh, I do like that, though. I do like that, though. Artorias Vigo, I'm curious what they create a copy of here. Imperial Diviner is insufficient, but it does give them 2 cards in that row. What if we go Hawker Smuggler? We get a little bit greedy with our round 2 push here. Because the longer it takes them to catch up to us, the more hand boosting we'll get. It's another Blightmaker, though. That is a good idea. And we are no longer ahead of them. Let's go for this, though. At this point, we might be looking at pushing all the way. It's starting to look like that might have to become a reality. Okay, they stole a trap from us, which is a little bit strange. Okay, they have to go with a Hawker Smuggler here. Also, that is the wrong row for that, and it will get destroyed anyway. So, we've bled out their leader ability, and we've bled out a few of their best cards. So I think I can still live with this. Sure, they'll get the boost. It doesn't matter, they already had the win, and we get a little bit of hand boosting, giving us a little bit more of an advantage going into round 3. Okay, we do have a few traps remaining to boost up the Elven Scouts. I suppose Eibhear can also help us out with that. So this... I think this might work. This might work. Okay, it's Uma's Curse. For Herkia. Huh. Okay. What if we deny them the damage by initially going with the Mahakam Horn? And also, moving Herkia out, we might end up getting, second leader ability charge because our turn had ended. I really wanted to just use one, but I didn't have enough time to cancel it out. So it's a little unfortunate, but we might have enough damage through other means to take her out anyway. We're going for even more damage here. So I do wonder if maybe we continue to go unitless for the time being with Pitfall Trap. The Imperial Diplomacy will trigger the Pitfall Trap, and the 4 provision cost cards are unfortunate, and we would have ideally had the Elven Scouts down there before we did this, but was trying to deny them the damage, and now that we got rid of Herkia, and we no longer have any armor on that Dwarf Berserker, it means that we do not have any damage to take out this Elven Scout. So let's go... Technically we should have some cards on each side of the horn. Then we'll go Eibhear next. See, that's... I mean, obviously that's a different source of damage, but that's why we were a little concerned about that. Let's see. Honestly, what if we did this? This will transform into an Elven Deadeye, eventually. Yenvo. Okay, that is a little unfortunate. Now it's Eldain. And, we actually only have 1 trap that's turned up, so that's a little odd. But this is their last card. And so... that will trigger. That will trigger. We'll go Isengrim. And we already have the win. So they'll forfeit. So there's a look at a Scoia'Tael Traps deck for the new Battle Rush seasonal event. If you liked the video, then make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and leave a comment down below to let me know which other cards, archetypes, and factions you'd like us to experiment with next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.